Yeah, new ship skin. I was just testing something with like a different pattern on it and engines and not. I'm gonna try not to cough because I know how loud that is on camera. Camera on microphone. Yeah. So yeah, this is just a new test skin with a pattern that's not the default, you know, three color thing. Like normally you've got the different color patterns. So this was just a test of something a bit more unique. And then engine effects. So you can turn the camera around in here now, although I can't get the camera low enough at the minute. This is the famous Dev, yeah. I wouldn't say famous, I mean like 10 people play my game. But yeah, it's more than 10 people. Yeah, engine effects. So I had some basic colours in before. I was just testing out, bringing something like with a unique particle system, like a dirty fire thing. It looks pretty rubbish at the moment, but obviously the graphics are still like to do. So yeah, and then the decal, I don't know how you pronounce it really, are working, so you can swap those around. Yeah, that was what I was working at. Yeah, the fire pattern's a bit like the bit on the side. It's a bit rubbish. It was just proof of concept. Like you can see the little flames on the back of the engine, but where that white circle is, kind of fits. Yeah, so all the ships should have some nice, unique skins like this, but just even better looking ones, you know. It's water, so I'm not constantly coughing. Um, what's the main idea behind AQ2? Basically AQ1, but loads better. So just to go over it briefly, AQ1 I built part-time from scratch, obviously, and kind of, excuse me, had to kind of go easy on the features, things, effectively. So AQ2 is just going to be bigger and better, more stuff, loads of features that people have been requesting over the years that could do in AQ1. Some new stuff, as well as cross-platform with PC. So it'll be on Steam and potentially like on the website as well. I know AQ1 is on Windows, but it's just a download that was replacing Facebook Game Room, because Facebook Game Room was Windows only and it shut down. So I felt it was needed and good for the Game Room players to have a version they could go to rather than forcing them on mobile. So the Windows version of AQ1 was just quickly packaged together for those players. You can't buy anything, for example, in AQ1, so I don't own anything in AQ1 Windows version. I don't own anything from the AQ1 Windows version. It's completely free. You couldn't purchase anything if you wanted to. You have to go through the mobile versions for that. Yeah, so it's quite different to AQ1. Will AQ2 have ray tracing? No, for lots of reasons, really. I mean, it's mobile, so the graphics have to scale. I mean, the graphics are a lot better on PC, but this have to scale to running on mobiles as well. So advanced features like ray tracing and stuff aren't in there. But also you're in space, so I mean, if you've got like ray trace shadows, you're not going to notice. Ray trace reflections would be fairly pointless. Ambient occlusion, like there is like ambient occlusion on the ship, but it's faked. But you can't really tell. I mean, like you've got the dark bits around the engine, slots at the front and down the middle of the hull, and it looks really good, I think. So I think ray tracing isn't going to happen. Yeah, I've been working with the Hyperion for all of my tests. So all of my cosmetic tests have been done with the Hyperion. I haven't got skins for some of the other ships yet. Do I have any plans to update AQ1 on new features? Yes, there's a few new little bits, but there's not a lot because obviously AQ2 is taking up all of my time, especially now that it's going to publishers and things. So I need to like really rapidly iterate on things for AQ2, because as soon as we get a publisher on board, then I can put a plan together for actually getting this launched, doing an alpha and things. But AQ1 does have a couple of new updates. I put out some news today, I think. I need to do some downtime on those servers to do some updates. Things like new hanger storage and stuff like that's obviously coming, little bits and pieces. Yeah, but anyway, AQ2. Yeah, the ambient occlusion is in the texture. There's also emission for like lights on the ship. I'm not sure why that's not on at the moment. But, normally got like little blinking things on there. I must have broken that at some point, not noticed. You just reminded me. So in this stream, we'll go over a few new things since the last one. Obviously, this is one engine effects and new skins and things. That's all working and nice, and we've got a new contacts thing on the journal. So I've been working on this journal, which is where your like campaign, I guess, is, and you've got a new list of all the contacts that you know in the world. I'm gonna cough again. You know, I'm going to the other side of the room. I'm going to cough a load, get this out of my system. 2 seconds. Right, hopefully that didn't kill your microphones. And I'm back in the room. Okay, so what was it? Yeah, contacts. So you get your missions through contacts, and you can access the like mini stores through contacts. You can buy like new equipment and things. So this was just a screen to have all of your contacts listed here, and I don't think you can click on them at the moment, but you've got to click on them and then come up with a chat. But that's really new, so working on that. There. Questions on AQ1. What's my opinion on reducing corp size? Yeah, I think I mentioned in the last stream as well. Corp size is like a relic from way back when in AQ1, and I do want to reduce the corp size, even if I reduce it by 10 or something. It's just finding the right way to do it so that you don't get like lots of legitimate people kicked out of their corporations, because there's like a lot of corporations with like full capacity. Question: will we have luminous from light sources? Yeah, you will. I don't know if it's that obvious in a minute. You can kind of see it if I flick on and off in the background there. The engines light up a bit. But the logo on the front of the ship, lights on the right. It's quite subtle at the minute because I've been playing around with the lighting, trying to make the ships pop in the background a bit. It's hard to see when you're flying around. So, how much impact would a single player or a couple of players be able to make in AQ2? Could they take a station alone? Yeah, in theory. The station building stuff's much more flexible in AQ2. So when you build auxiliary buildings and stuff and upgrade your main station, you've got a lot more customization options. So what I'm trying to say is you could build your outposts stations to be geared more towards like trade and things rather than defense. So some things will be easier to tackle solo. But then I'm also adding in non-combat ways to take sectors. So I'm not sure quite how it's going to work, but I've kind of got it like 60% planned out. But I'd like it so that you could use like espionage and like you can buy out workers on the stations and things and like influence things like that. So you could cause like a revolt, mutiny or whatever on the station and then take over that way, rather than literally just going in and blowing up the station. You know, you could do it without combat. It's like a big trading corporation, for example, a mining corporation might be able to take stations that way, like bribing officials and things like that. Some of that stuff I think would be quite fun, rather than just pure combat. And I've also played around with the idea of having like boarding pods, so bigger ships could carry like troops that you'd take over the station by force that way, like internally, rather than just shooting it. Just because I think from a story perspective, makes more sense to take over a station like that than just going up to it and bombarding it till it's a shell and then everyone in it's dead and going, yeah, it's mine now. So I'm playing around with that kind of stuff. I say playing around that side of it's all on paper at the minute because I haven't figured out how it works yet. But I would like to do that stuff. Like, yeah, more interaction, that kind of decent stuff that way. Right, so other new updates. I've been working on making the map a little bit better. So new question: boarding a station makes sense. Would this be possible for big ships? Yeah, it would be kind of cool if you could take over like AI capital ships, like even temporarily with like little boarding pods. Not sure how it worked, like taking over a player ship. That'd be quite annoying if you suddenly had your ship captured and you were just being flown around by someone else. But it's possible. I mean, at the moment, I'm kind of trying to put everything in the possible pile and then filter out what really works. Because obviously, I'm at the stage of the game now where I can complete, excuse me, rework stuff and break things, add new things, remove things. So, yeah, I mean, if there's a big call for it and it feels like it plays well, then I'll try it out. If it doesn't work, take it out. If it does work, yay. So, yeah, I'll put that on the list. Drinking tap water. So the map, yeah, I've been updating a little bit. So a couple of changes since the last stream. So these areas here, around the suns, are all areas. So this is the Orion area, currently owned by AQ Security. Before, if I was down here, I would have to warp to here, to here, to here to kind of go around. Whereas now, anywhere in a sector can be warped to directly. And then if you want to travel to another sector, so let's say I want to go to here, you would need to walk to one of the gate sectors and go through that way. Just what the lines are. These are warp gate paths. And there are minor warp gates like this one here, and there are more major warp gates. Like, for instance, where are we? Here is the edge of the core sector, and then here is the start of what's the start of the belt. So this warp jump here is going between two different regions. I think you have to pay to go through that. Yeah, so the labels have changed. I mentioned that they look a bit sexier. Hunts now appear without you having to go to a station like accept a hunt. They're just there if you want to use them now. Use them if you want to do them. So I'm also knackered as well. I've got off, so probably talking gibberish half the time. Yeah, so that looks better. You can also see these little pips here appeared, which are the auxiliary buildings. So for example, if I check out OR2, see in the right up here, it's owned by AQ Security. There's a solar power plant and a mining array. They will have unique icons. Are hunts accessible to the public or is it private? So hunts are single player areas. So they're just you. They're instances. Yeah, they're instances. So if I was to go here, let's just do it. It will be just me. So let's fly out and take a look. Yeah, so these areas are all public areas, all the main sectors. Everyone gets thrown in there. The hunts and, for example, this mission are solo. So they're just me. And the raids are you and you can bring a wing of people in. So I can just join up here with up to 6 other people and go in there and do that. So there's some group stuff, some solo stuff, and some everyone stuff. I just wanted to mix because not everyone wants to just constantly fly around with other people. You might just want to go off and do your own thing, and it also means you can have slightly more interactive areas. For example, if I go over here and take out this guy, there'll be a little, well, I wouldn't say story, there's a little narrative. I say little, it is very little. So I come in here, say hunt target found at the top right, then he's going to have a little chat with me. This is my target here. Let's just fight him with everything I've got. There's some AQ set coming in there just for testing, but you should see some more AQ set coming in a minute. There we go. Oh no, that's still him, sorry. Come on, AQ set. There we go. AQ set came in to lend me a hand. And that's like pre-programmed stuff. So hunt complete. Boom. Because I killed him. I'm also immortal, so that's why I'm not dying. It's just I got fed up with dying during testing, so currently I cannot die. Which means I can just constantly fight. Does warping take longer depending on how far the sector? No. So warping takes a set amount of time. It's like 6 seconds or something at the minute. And there's a technical reason for that, because each of the areas that you see on the map can be run on physical computers, different physical computers. So if I was to walk from here to here, this area might be run on a different machine, so your game has to disconnect and then reconnect to the other server. So it allows a little bit of time for that, because your ship in the background, what the server's doing is just taking the ship from one server and putting it on the other, and that happens quite quickly. That can happen in 100 milliseconds. So that's all like just swapping over the database. It's getting a bit technical now. And then it tells your client to say, please disconnect from me and then reconnect to this other server, and then it gives you the warp effect, and that's actually just while it's moving to the other server, and then it will come in, you'll reconnect, and your ship will probably already be there before you got there, if you know what I mean. If I was to close the game down, for example, as soon as I hit warp, my ship would still appear in the other sector for everyone else, so that's happening without you. And then after a preset time, your ship will walk away on autopilot. So that's why there's a warp effect, to have that like handover thing. I have been thinking of maybe making like all of these areas here always on one server, so that you can kind of freely jump from here to here to here, and it could just animate, it could just go boom, boom, done. But I mean, technically, there could be, you know, hundreds of people flying around all these areas, and I need the ability to put that across several physical computers, otherwise it just wouldn't run right. So that's the long version of why there's a warp effect and why there's a warp time. So your ship can auto warp back to the station if you're AFK. Yeah, so it will. As soon as you disconnect, it will auto warp to the station, or auto dock if there's a station that you can dock at. If there isn't, for example, if I was to exit now, I would warp off it just into kind of like void space, into nowhere. So as soon as I come back into the game, whether it be a second later or days later, weeks, whatever, I would appear back in this sector. There'd be a little warp effect, and I'll be back there. So there's always like it'll take you to a safe area when you're offline. Would your ship put AI like AQ1 where it moves around automatically? Not at the minute, no. At the minute I have to say, move over there, shoot this thing, because it's more involved now. Like there's more, you know, I can... Why am I getting attacked by AQ sec? Just noticed that. Vicious. Yeah, they do that sometimes, apparently. What was I saying? Your ship have AI? No, so it's more management. I can fire each individual weapon at different ships, and because it's a bit more involved controlling your ship, there's no autopilot. I mean, I could put one in, I could just like swap out so you've got like NPC AI running your ship, but that's kind of like botting, and I don't really want people to be like botting. You know what I mean? So yeah, the minute there's no AI, if I say fly over there, I'll just fly over there and stop and just get shot up. how do you get the time and knowledge to make both the code, art, and sound effects in your game? So, artwork, mostly purchased from like Unity Asset Store, things like that. Some of the icons and bits and pieces like the Xeno ships have been made by freelancers. So the Pulse Ray and the Pulse Cannon down here, and then from my drone icon, they're all made by freelancers. I don't do that because I suck at design. I mean, the layout and like how it all looks, I do. And sound effects, again, they're just all bought. The voice, the AQ1, was actually a voice actor in AQ1. So all the voice lines in AQ1 were a paid actor doing that. But AQ2 has like voice all over the place. Like you've got obviously someone talking about there, got these being spoken. If you click on any item, it will speak it, stuff like that. And they're actually done with AI, which is controversial, I know, because some people are like, AI, you know, people are losing jobs, but I mean, I either use AI for it, or I don't do it, because I can't afford to pay someone to voice act like 1,000 lines that I'm probably going to change constantly. So, yeah, that voice you can hear there is an AI voice. And there's like announcements in the station. I just increase the volume a little bit for the voice so you can hear it. Let's go to the station.
A large Asteria field situated near the center of the
I mean, if my
Orion
writing
area.
was any
It
better,
was
I wasn't
once filled with
dyslexic,
rare
it would
ores.
sound better because it would actually be written in English.
We need someone to take down this target. They have been attacking
English.
traders in nearby asteroid fields.
Right, so you've got all those lines spoken by dock at the station. It says like warping, but you might get like announcements every now and then. Let's see if we get one. You get an announcement. Probably not. Probably not. That's a shame. There's no one that's still like ding ding ding. Can all ships please roll blah. That was another voice thing. And then all of the
compressed ore is produced when compacting
descriptions
ore.
are
Compression allows miners and traders to more effectively transport ores.
Right.
The most abundant ore in the Aquila system, ore is found
Sounds
in
good.
almost all asteroid belts.
Yeah, so some of these you can see here, like ore, auxilium, freelancer made icons. In terms of the programming, I mean, I've been programming for years. God knows when did I start? 2007, 2006. And I mean, like today, I was up at like 5:30 because my daughter woke me up. So long day programming. And when you do that much programming, kind of just some bits got to go in, isn't it? Right. APIs. Ugh, couldn't read. NPC speaking to you by AI. Yeah. So the service I use is provided by Amazon, and they can do real time voice. So like a lot of games for accessibility purposes will have the option where chat can be read out by voice in real time. That's potentially a possibility. This also, yeah, on the chat notice, this game has chat translation for text. AQ1 doesn't. AQ1 doesn't, but AQ2, Amazon are helping out a little bit, so I've kind of got that for free, as it were. Will resistances to damage types be different in AQ1? To the percentage. Yeah. So at the bottom of the screen here, you can see there's like resistance kinetic, resistance explosive. That's just 10-10. So this isn't presented very well, but you can buy things for your ship. Let's see. So AI slot has some.
An AI module tuned for defense.
This module here gives you resistance. These numbers will change, but basically, I think if you get like 200 resistance, it'll do 25% less damage, and then 400 will do 35, and it decreases, so you need like 2,000 energy resistance to get like 80% of the damage resisted. So yeah, diminishing returns. That's what I meant. Yeah, that's the one. That's the words. Those are the words. Just read the chat. You just write out item descriptions. Okay. Yeah, there was translation AQ1, and I used Microsoft for it at one point, and I got a bill at the end of the month. It took several £100 for chat translation, and I was just like, yeah, that's impossible. That's not going to be viable. And there wasn't that many people talking at that point, and I thought, yeah, that's not going to happen. So I had to take out chat translation just because it's a really expensive service. And I say Amazon helping me out this time with a few things, so translation's possible. Will there be voice chat in groups? Yeah, voice chat's integrated. So if I create a wing, you see the little voice icon here. You can mute yourself, and you can mute other people if there are other people in my wing. I have some friends. Should bring a friend on at some point actually to show some of that stuff. And you can also just globally toggle voice chat on and off if you never want to join it. Voice chat is provided by a voice chat service called Vivox. Unity own it at the minute, I think. It's used in quite a lot of big games, so should be quite a nice service. Yeah, so that's doable. Obviously, you can turn it all off if you want to use Steam chat or TeamSpeak or something like that. But yeah, voice chat will work on mobile as well. Would there be an option for proximity voice chat? No, I doubt it. I mean, no one is going to want to hear people screaming around a battlefield. So voice chat's going to be kind of like opt-in, as it were. So it will only be with people in your wing. In terms of actual chat, text chat, there isn't a global channel at the minute. There's only a local channel, and it's local to the whole region. So whatever I write in here will only be shown to people within the core region. So if there's a lot of people over in the belt, frontier, they'll be in a separate chat channel. Something I've been playing around with that because I think I like the idea of segregating the chat more so that you don't get conversations overlapping about different things happening in different areas of space. And there's still corporation chat, and there's friends as well. So yeah, you can add. We got any other characters beginning with letters? You got me. Yeah, as friends. You can. Sure, I have some other characters. SPL, there you go. So can invite to wing, add as a friend, invite them to a corporation, send them a mail, report them. It's always good. It'd be interesting to have some sort of billboard that players can rent out for adverts. Yeah, corporation adverts I thought would be quite cool. And I saw a game, I can't remember what it was, ages ago. And corporations could pay like in-game currency to put in ads in like chat and stuff, or they pop up on like little news feeds in game. And I thought that was kind of cool, and I thought maybe I could do something like that, but I never got around to planning that out for AQ2. But I mean, there's no reason why I can't. Like you could have sector like banners that come up, like similar to you've got your descriptions for corporations. You could have something
a dense nebula with a link
here.
to the
If your
nearby
corporation owns it,
Sagittarius
it could
area.
say rah rah rah. Right, let's what I want to do. I want to go out and fight some more and show you some more bits and pieces that are new. Right, let's go crazy. So let's go to the raid. The raid at the moment is basically just a load testing thing. So it should just be a super massive fight with hundreds of ships going on. I'm just using it at the moment to weed out any issues with performance. The wing as well, because it's overlapping. Right. So you can see there's a lot of angry people, and then you should just get AQ walking in like crazy. Boom, 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 boom. I don't want to be the map. It's just a massive fight. But that's what we want. With me flying around, all immortal, can do what I want. Can I touch this? Can I sing that song on stream? I don't know. Copyright strike. Yeah, so this was a test of making sure when they spawn in, it's all good. Still some more coming in. It should keep pouring in from both sides. Pew, 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 pew. Joining the fight. Keep pressing. Keep pressing. So I mean, it works quite well. I mean, let's see how many what's my bandwidth usage at the moment? Can't read. Oh yeah, it's running on my local computer, so my ping is 0. 23 kilobytes a second. That's not too bad. Yeah, some warnings. Yeah, I got a little debug overlay thing where you can check stuff out, change some stuff, send me a screenshot and a report, and it'll give me all the logs and what's going on. That's boring. Right, so lots of people getting shot up here, lots of people exploding, and one of the things I've changed recently is the way you loot from ships. So prior to this version, you would either have to have a salvage laser equipped to your ship or a deconstruction laser. The deconstruction laser, when fired at a wreckage, would slowly destroy the wreckage until it blows up, and in doing so it would give you raw resources like raw ores and metals and things. And the salvage laser would extract equipment from that ship that hadn't been completely destroyed. So if that ship had AML on it, for example, and you ran salvage laser against it, you might have a chance to extract that salvage laser. But it didn't play very nice because, like, for instance, I don't have any of those things on this ship. I don't particularly want them on this ship because I want my guns. So I wanted a way to loot stuff from ships without having to resort to those weapons. Long story short, click a ship. This is a test thing here. You've got the integrity of the wreck that will go down if you use the deconstruction beam, and you've got a list of the salvage. So this salvage here would need to be extracted with a salvage laser. So I can't do anything with that at the moment. It's not great. Let's have a look at some other ships. Feeling these are all okay. No, so here. So this ship has some red sand chips on it, fuel, and low value scrap. The top one here, I haven't made the UI very good. The top one here is just random loot, so you don't need anything to claim that. So I can just go, give me that, and I've taken those chips off that. There will be a timer and like an effect on that, and these are also shared as well, so someone could come along and nick it in theory. This is a single player area, so these should really be grayed out and only available if you've got a salvage laser, if that makes sense. So you've got loot, which you can just go and grab, no special equipment needed. You've got salvage, which you can extract with a salvage laser, and then you've got raw materials, which you can extract by deconstructing the wreckage. But deconstructing the wreckage will also destroy it. It'll be destroyed over time anyway. I think it's like 5 minutes and these get destroyed. Yeah, this fight's going well. Lots of death, lots of ships that are stuck because they can't move around. So, for example, this ship had a gauze, which I could have extracted. So the reason I've split that up is because for example, if I was to take out that gauze turret, it'd be worth more than just the regular bits of loot. But the loot was important as well because of missions. So I currently have a mission, should be shown, I think, in there at all, in my journal, because I've replaced the screen temporarily. No, it's here. So this is a storyline mission. I want to be able to access the black market game, just the player market, and to do that, I need to get myself a black market drive. So this guy is offering a black market drive if I go and salvage some from a red sun ship. I've already completed this mission, so it's not giving me any problems. And he wants me to go over here and salvage a black market drive. So let's go do that. Should still work, even though I've technically completed it because I'm just testing. But yeah, you can see that battle there. I think someone asked earlier how many players in a battle. Yeah. Players, I'm not sure. It should support loads. I mean, you saw there was probably about 1,000 ships flying around there and it ran fine. And we're all good. Players take up quite a bit more processing on the server, and I won't know for sure how many until we kind of do a big test. But I mean, in theory, you should be able to handle quite a lot. I mean, like it helps that I've kind of been working on these networking things for networking engines for years now, so it's quite well optimized. It can be optimized further, but it's still quite well optimized because it's got to run on like a 3G connection on mobile as well. So I've got to be wary of performance from a networking perspective. So yeah, we'll see, but we should get quite a few. But going back to this, look, I'm in this mission area. I need to salvage a black market drive from Red Sun. So there's a little Red Sun dude. Let's shoot him up. Again, these guys here are just for testing. They wouldn't really be in your mission area. So I've killed him, and he's dropped this fragmented data drive. I'm like, oh no, he didn't drop a whole black market drive. Let's just take the fragment. It's fragment B, and then if I go kill another ship, it should have fragment A. So there's fragment A on that ship. Fragment C. Where are you? Where have you got fragment C? Yeah, boom. So you collect the 3 fragments, and then you take it back to the mission guy, and he'll give you a black market key. So you could see it's not 100% working there, but it's the kind of thing I'm aiming for is more like crafted missions like that, not just go kill 10 rats. I say 10 rats like that's an RPG MMO stereotype, not that they call NPCs and Eve rats. Yeah, missions are good, missions are fun. So yeah, that's the new salvage stuff, a new map, new designs and things that I've been working on since the last stream. Yeah, so low sec zones will have more. What's the word? More pirates. Like for instance, this zone here, 100 security. That's maximum security. So there'll be a few pirates occasionally, but there'll also be a really heavy AQ sec presence to clear them all up, keep everyone safe. If I go there now, if there's any pirates, you might see AQ sec warp in. The core asteroid field. OR3. Yeah, so hostile ships detected. AQ response inbound. What's it coming in? I need to make this camera move, basically. Eyes over there. No, that's no, that's the Imperial. Sisyphus. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, the top right of the screen there, you've got this big AQ sec thing that's come in to take out any pirates. Yeah, I played Eve years and years and years ago. I remember playing it back. It must have been like 2001 or something. And my friend had just got a new AMD processor. Might have been a bit later than that. I don't know. It was like the first 1 GHz processor, and he showed me Eve, and that was like when it was blocks. And then I played it a couple of years later, but I haven't played it for a long time. I've been looking at it obviously because I've been looking at every single space game. But yeah. Yeah, it's not Sucurus, it's Susurrus. It's Latin for swarm or something, because this is going to be a big carrier. Have loads of little fighters. Oh, he's off. He's turned off his aura and he's going. Yeah, we'll get the name of that right. Avorian. Avorian, am I saying that right? Oh, look at that. Yeah, the Skisnerus will warp in and help everyone out. You can see the ship's flying a bit of a formation now, which is quite nice as well. And I do like these new effects for like clouds and things. A bit of volumetric stuff there. It's not really volumetric. I wrote it myself. It's kind of like cheating 2.5D volumetrics because you can see like, you know, it is darker as you go through the depths of it. There is like volume to it, but it's obviously in kind of like a circular area and it's on like a 2D plane. So it's my fake volumetrics, which I wrote. I was quite pleased with that. You can see it looks quite nice in the asteroids on the left there as they fade in. As the ship flies through it. And it's animated as well, but it needs to be sped up so you get like the dust flying over it. There are like thicker patches, you can see it flying through. It's got them in nebulas as well. Nebulas look quite nice. Yeah, I couldn't use actual volumetrics because again, this has to run on mobile. So I took a bit of time and made some like fake volumetrics. Yeah, I think you can see it kind of mess up there because the edge of that, the bottom of that space station isn't in the cloud. You see, it's like the side of it, so it doesn't really apply enough. But the edge of the space station here is in the cloud, so you can see it kind of applies to it there. But yeah, it's quite cool, like seeing these little fighters and stuff come through. You get the less dense patches and things. Yeah, I'll put the animation a bit faster on that because it looks a bit better. When you get big ships coming through and the top of the ship peeks out the top of the clouds, it looks really nice. Do nebula fields increase energy gen? Yeah, it won't say that, but yeah, so stats effect there. If I'm inside it. Oh no, sorry, that was the enemy ship. This is me. Got stats effect of nebula. It's defined by that circle there. This screen's really messy. See, there's a circle where the nebula is. I forget, can you see my cursor? I think you can. Yeah, okay, you can see. So you can see when I'm pointing stuff out. That's helpful. See, I don't stream much, so yeah, I don't know what's going on. Yeah, sorry. The circles there are aura areas. That's that. That's effect's quite cool. I liked that. Right, so yeah, that was the new map stuff, new hunt things, showing off a bit of missions, new ship scrapping stuff. What else have I done? New contacts list. Yeah. I think from then on it was just visual tweaks and whatnot. These boys come out. Don't they know I'm immortal? I need to figure out the pacing of the game as well. Like how fast the ships move, the ranges, how fast they fire, how fast you kill stuff. Because obviously the maps are like massive now. It's everything happening in real time. Let's get next up loot. We got loot, yeah, give me loot. This is why I need to put like an animation in and like a distance check. There's the Siskinarus. It's activated a shield hardening aura, which is this blue circle here. Yeah, I'd forgotten we'd done a pacing update for AQ1. I saw the video, the video of the test saved on YouTube. I was like, oh yeah, because it used to be. I say I increased it by 50%, so yeah, it used to be slower. What's maths that? So it got 50% faster. So it would have been 33% slower. Oh man, it's too late to do that in my head. That's right, isn't it? If it was 100, 50% added is 150. Third off of that, which is 33%, would be 100. Yeah, 50% faster used to be 33% slower. Yeah, okay. I can still maths, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. Oh, I've also added most of the old ships in now. So you've got the Enk and Corsair, and all of them are in there, and then the new ones. There's Catapult. Oh yeah, okay. So that over there is a auxiliary building. It's a fuel depot, but I don't have a model for it. So there's just all the pirates flying around trying to blow up this station. They really shouldn't do that, but it's up to them. Yeah, there's also this thing like in AQ1, all the ships always circle in a certain direction. And I like to think that's like a feature now. Like, when you know about it, you can exploit it. I tried to remove that for AQ2. It looks like I haven't succeeded. Oh well. Yeah. They're doing their thing. Blowing up the auxiliary building. I'm getting closer with the auxiliary stuff as well, and the building systems. So in a stream coming up, I should be able to show you building, corporation building stuff. So I mentioned in a blog a while back that I'd made a new like AI controlling server that will do all the events and all the management stuff like that. And if you're in the Discord, you can see the notifications come up saying like AQ2 built a new solar power plant. That's all fully plugged in now, which is why we've got this issue in this stream where fuel depot has been built, but I don't have a model for it. But the data exists, so AI just built that. So yeah, the AI will build things if they're in sectors, and they will destroy enemy things. There's a whole load of dead ships over there. So yeah, I've got like to do and stuff up here. I'll get that done as soon as I can and show that off because the new building stuff's much better than AQ1. Will there ever be a thing to say orbit range? Yeah. So that's all done. There's just no interface for it. You've got all of the movement options that you've got. Go to there, and it will just go to there and stop. You've got keep something at range, so it will fly away if it gets too close. You've got orbit, and there's an orbital distance. So I do have it, so you could select this asteroid, and then if I hit orbit now, it would orbit at this range, or I could fly towards, and then hit orbit and orbit closer. Those kind of movement things are all done because those are the same systems that AI use. I just don't have a good way of putting that on screen at the moment. Discord notifications as well. You can have Discord notifications for your corporation. So I can put my Discord information in here for my corporation Discord, and it will ping messages straight into your Discord server for things like corporation payouts, people joining and leaving and things. They'll all go to your Discord server, which is nice because then if you don't want to use mobile notifications and stuff like that, you don't want to be pestered, you don't have to. You can just put it in Discord and do stuff that way. It's a nice extra around the game. Yeah, I think that's all of the stuff from the last stream. So unless there's any more questions, I will wrap it up. I'm just going to go back to that big fight and see how much data we can use up. I say data we can use up, it's not like it's quickly see. Oh, also, I will do another development blog with a bunch of this stuff in as well, explaining a few things. That's on my to-do list. Don't know if I mentioned like the cool effects of fire around the ship and stuff when it gets blown up. Particles coming off and sparks and things. Pew, 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 pew. Cool. All right. I will call it then. Thank you for chatting. So I will hopefully do another stream next Wednesday, and I'll do a blog post in the meantime. I'll probably ping that out via email as well, just so there's a little bit in the email if you don't want to read the whole blog. Cool. All right, let's do that. So, all right. Thanks all. Bye.